Welcome to the Health by Haven podcast. I'm your host, Haven Quinlan. If you're a multi-passionate wellness enthusiast, then you're in the right place. I'm obsessed with learning as much as I can about the wellness world, and I want to share that with you. Each episode will dive into various aspects of health and wellness through inspiring and informative guest interviews with some solo episodes thrown in. Tune in for all things health, and let's have some fun, shall we? Is your home in need of a refresh? I don't know about you, but I love reimagining and redesigning my space. If you're wanting to liven up your space and level up your decor, be sure to check out Arranger Paints on Etsy. The shop is full of beautiful paintings, many inspired by nature, and all sure to give your home a custom feel. The paintings also make great housewarming or birthday gifts. I've gifted paintings from the shop and have a Ranger Paints artwork in my loft. As a special thank you for supporting the Health by Haven podcast, you can get 10% off your order with code HXH10. You can find the full collection of work at arrangerpaints.etsy.com or scroll down to the show notes for the link. Taylor Dads is a runner, a recipe developer, and a content creator and host of the One Balanced Life Instagram account, where you may have seen some of her super simple, healthy, delicious recipes online. I had so much fun chatting with Taylor this week. We talked all things running. She's running a half marathon next weekend, so we talk all about that, as well as how she created One Balanced Life and how she continues to share creative, delicious, healthy recipes online. I know you guys are going to love this conversation with Taylor. Let's jump right into it. Okay, Taylor, I am so thrilled to get to chat with you today on the Health by Haven podcast. I was trying to rack my brain and think when I started following you on Instagram, and I'm honestly not quite sure, but I do just feel like we're two peas in a pod with running and healthy cooking and everything. So I'm so excited to chat with you and for people to get to hear a little bit more about you. So I'm curious, maybe just starting off, how you got into running and healthy meal prep and all of that. Tell us a little bit about your journey there.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. It has been quite a journey, actually. We'll start with running. I started, my brother was running cross country in grade school, and he kind of got me in on the cross country team. And that's kind of how I started, probably in sixth grade, started running.
Yeah.
And just like fell in love with it, then went off to high school to run in cross country and track in high school. And then post high school, kind of got into the half marathon training in college, did a little bit of that, and then did full marathons out of school. So kind of just like progressed in my journey of training and racing and all of that. Within that, just been in and out of injury and learning about fueling my body, and kind of within that, with the running and learning to fuel my body, came my Instagram account, One Balanced Life, too. I grew up a lot with like diet culture and disordered eating, not knowing how to fuel myself in and out of diets, and just always wanting to be the smallest version of myself. I learned a lot about what you need to fuel your body, and how you can perform better when you are a really fueled self. I started my page, back in 2017. I was just sharing my breakfast. Before I go into work, I'd post a picture of my breakfast. And then that grew over time. I was meal prepping a lot at the time too, because I was working a really busy corporate job. And I was sharing that online. And so it kind of just grew over time. And it's still crazy to me, some days that I'm like, this is what I get to do. And it's, so much fun. And I love creating recipes, and, like tying that into my running and how it helps fuel me as well.
Yes. Okay. You're definitely gonna have to cut me off because I could chat all day about running and feeling. So I just know it's gonna be so much fun. But did you, I guess, come about the like meal prepping? You said when you were in a corporate job. So did you kind of like grow up with your parents cooking in the kitchen a lot? Were you experimenting with your own recipes? Like, where did you kind of draw the creativity for that and the kind of discipline in the meal prepping when you were super busy to make sure you were fueling your body every day?
Actually, no, that's something that we laugh about often is my family did not cook. My mom, like casseroles, love her, but like same stuff weekly. And I think I learned a lot of it kind of when I started to live on my own, like in
Mm,
college and stuff, and having like a house where I could prepare food for myself. Yeah, and then, seeing how that worked within running. And then, when I was out of school and having to like go to the grocery store for myself, cook for myself full time, all the things, that was just like a lot of it was just like, let's dive head in and just see how, start testing things. And yeah, so it's a lot like I taught myself really how to
yeah.
cook and playing around with flavors and ingredients, and then getting like a lot of inspiration also from just going out to eat and things that I like and being like, how can I make my $15 sweet green bowl cheaper at home?
Yes.
Probably
Okay.
more than $15 actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like a great source of inspiration. I love to do that as well. Like you're going out and eating meals and you're like, oh, like I didn't think about pairing this with this. Like let me go home and
Mhm.
try it. Or sometimes I say to my husband, I'm like, oh, I could make this, but like make it better at home,
Yeah.
with like the
No, for
flavors that you
sure.
like. So that's so much fun. And I love that you talk about like being self-taught and just trying things out in the kitchen because I think so many people are like afraid to experiment or like find creativity in what they're making because they think like, oh my gosh, I have to follow this super strict like recipe to the T. But I just want people to know like there's beauty in just like tossing stuff in a bowl and trying it out. And like sometimes it's not going to be great, but then you also might find like a flavor combo that you love as well.
No, for sure. And I always say too, like, my everything that I'm making, it's so easy. Like, I'm not keeping you in
Mm.
the kitchen for long. Like, we're doing one pan meals, we're doing easy like sheet pan stuff. And I think a lot of people like appreciate that too, because it's just like we're all busy, like this is and I think like the meal prep stuff is a great way to incorporate just a really busy, how to make it like fueling yourself in a really busy lifestyle too.
Yeah. Do you think most people are finding your page for like those like quick, simple meals, or what's like your main audience and your main type of recipes that you're sharing?
Yeah, I think my people love the easy one pan, like
Mm.
let's get dinner on the table like as quickly as possible.
Hmm.
And then also like I I've heard from others just trying to like it feels approachable in like the recipes that I share. And that's also something that's important to me. Like I want when I'm sharing a video, I want that to be like, oh, I could easily just do this at home too. Like I don't need anything fancy. Like I'm not
Hmm.
trying to get you to the store to buy like 10 different spices or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Those recipes where you're like, well, I bought this once and I'm never going to touch it again.
Yes.
So,
And it
yeah.
just collects dust in the pantry.
Hmm. So
Mhm.
where was the crossover kind of from growing up? I know you mentioned like, okay, I want to like eat the smallest amount or like be the smallest version of myself to the crossover of realizing if I feel my body properly, it can also help in performance in my running and in my day-to-day life. Like what did that kind of like crossover? Was it like a light switch one day? How did that look?
That's been like I feel like a journey, just like just learning and seeing how like now I'm 32 years old and I'm like the fastest and strongest that I've ever been, and I know that that's solely because I'm not afraid of carbs anymore, and I'm like eating before a run. I'm fueling for my like 16-mile runs in during the run, and yeah, it has been, just thinking about the last like 10 years or so, just like how much that has changed. I actually, the first marathon I ever ran, and I don't know if I would call this like a light switch moment. It was just like a big wake up call for me. Like, okay, something's got to change. Is that I passed out at mile 23.
Oh gosh.
And it was due to like a lack of dehydration and being fueled properly. Like I maybe had one pack of gummies with
Hmm.
the whole like during the whole marathon. So I think like that after that happened and like I didn't finish the race or anything, it was just like, okay, we've got to learn how to do this because like the marathon is a beast and
Yeah.
it takes a big toll on you, mentally and physically. And so it's just like you have to fuel your body for that.
Yeah, no kidding. And gosh, that's so scary. I'm glad that like everything ended up turning out okay. But I thank you for sharing that because I feel like a lot of people who are listening are maybe like dabbling in running to get in shape or to lose weight, which like everyone comes at it, for their own lens. But when you start thinking about it for performance, you're right. It's like so important to be
Mhm.
fueling properly. I know like when I first started distance running, I like wouldn't eat anything for my runs because I'm like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
want to upset my stomach, And it's like actually that was upsetting my stomach. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And now like watching your performance improve when you're learning to properly fuel, it's also like so motivating and empowering to like get out there and try to crush bigger goals too.
I'm sure. Yeah, you kind of can just see how much that helps too.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And
Okay.
especially with like recovery and everything too. Like you just recover different. I remember like I would come home from runs and be like, really cold and like have to like curl up. Like I love a good couch rot after a long run, but
Yeah.
like a couch rot when like and just like not feeling well isn't the same.
Yeah.
And so it's like when you are like fueled properly, like you're not having those kind of things.
Yeah. Like you like feel useless after a run for the rest of the
Yes.
day if you're not fueled properly. Like I used to get these horrible headaches after a long run because I was like
Yeah.
dehydrated and all of that. So yeah, definitely. Well, speaking of running, you just raced a 10K. How was it? Tell us everything.
I like weirdly love the 10K. I think it's
Yeah.
like and that's probably like the crazy runner in me. It's just like the amount of time and like length of a run that you can just like really go all out and then you're like almost done by the time you're like this sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I always love running in Austin, just being, living here for as long as I have. And so that was fun. And that was like my kind of like tune up or like race before my half marathon, which is next weekend.
Yeah. Okay. So
Next weekend. Yeah, it
fun.
is next weekend. I mean, I was already calling today
Yeah.
Friday, so it's like, what is it next weekend?
I was like, wait, am I losing my mind? Is it Friday? I wish. Okay, yes. And then next weekend, the Derby mini marathon. So have you run that race before?
No, I haven't done that one. I've done a few Kentucky ones before, but not that specific one. But I have been, around in town for like Derby and all of those events. So I've always wanted to do this.
Yeah. So are you from Kentucky?
Yes, I'm from Louisville.
Oh, so it's like hometown
Yeah.
race for you.
Yeah, so my family's still there, so it will be nice to
Oh,
have them too.
so much fun. Okay, so what has your training block looked like? How are you feeling? How's the taper going?
I feel really good. Yeah, I feel I haven't raced a half marathon since gosh, because I was injured all of last year, basically. Like I just ran my one marathon at the end of the year. So yeah, I haven't raced a half since 2023. So I have a like big scary goal for this one, but I feel really good. The I've been like really pushing myself in a lot of workouts and just like seeing paces that I feel like I would never see, like
Mhm.
I ran cross country and stuff in high school and I wasn't even running these paces. So it's just like, what
Yeah.
the heck? But no, I'm excited. This training cycle has been a little, just, which is something that I always try to like say too, is just like no training cycle is going to be perfect.
Mm.
And that's something like the more times that I do train for these, I see just how that plays a role and how you have to just kind of release some control and
Mm.
just let it happen. Like missing a few runs, dropping mileage here isn't going to like play a big part in how you perform on race day. So yeah, I've had, just traveling and some sickness here and there. But with getting injured last year, one thing that I like had like very like set on is like if I'm really in like a stressful period, like I know that I need to pull back on my running because just I know stress is stress and stress on the body is um, that's all that it knows. It doesn't know whether it's mental stress or stress on your run. And so if I need to pull back due to that, like I do. So I'm not afraid to drop some miles here and there or, miss a workout if I'm like traveling and just like it would be too much to put it in. So that's kind of like I feel like I'm at a good approach now to training and just yeah, I feel good about the race. And that was probably a long-winded way of
No, I
talking
love
to you
it. This is
about
the time to be long-winded.
it.
Well, and that's such great advice for people listening too, because I think as runners, a lot of us run kind of like type A. We want to like check all the boxes. Like, this is the plan. I have to get out for these miles, even if you're sick or you're traveling or things like that. So I think you're giving people permission to like pull back and listen to their bodies, and they need to, because that's not always easy. And I know you mentioned your injury, and it's honestly jogging my memory of like maybe how I found your account originally. Because I found your running account far before the cooking one. But I ran Houston Marathon last year as well. And I think maybe I found your account when I was training for that, maybe. And so I know you had some injury with that training cycle. And if you don't mind going into it a little bit and kind of telling us what your like rehab from that has looked like.
Yeah, so I got injured. I was training for Houston 2024, which is in January of
Mm,
2024. And kind of like right out of the peak week of my training for that, I got injured. I, at the time, didn't really know whether it was just like something kind of like nagging. And I pulled back on my training and kind of went into just cross training for like really all of the taper. Just like didn't run and gave it like those 2 weeks to just cross train, hoping that that would get me to the start line feeling good. And I did. Looking back at it now, like I think I knew all along, like it just like the body was not feeling right. And I didn't go to I had a PT at the time, but they didn't really know what was going on. And then I didn't see anyone until after the fact, like go to the doctor or get any scanning done. So yeah, I went to the race. I did my shakeout and I was like, okay, we might be like I can still feel it. Maybe some adrenaline will, help me
hmm
push through, which like I don't love that I tried to like go with that in the first place. But I am happy that, I raced up until it started to really, really feel bad. And it was like my
Mm.
hamstring back, um, and it started to feel really bad around like mile 10, and I pulled out at 13. And I was just like, it was a horrible feeling, like knowing that I
Yeah.
knew I needed to drop, but also like I feel really good about making that decision because I know if I would have pushed more, like I could have done something that would have put me out way longer than I already
Yeah.
was. So yeah, I really that began the whole rehab process. Like I got back and I got some scanning done, and it was like inconclusive, which was also
Ugh,
just like
so
really, yeah,
frustrating.
really frustrating. You know, I was getting just some like unclear messages from doctors. And so I found a really good PT here in Austin and I started to work with them. And they kind of got me on a whole like strength route with it while also putting a lot of like of the like healing work and on that area too. So, you know, we did a lot of like loading up the leg and all these different exercises. Like I feel like they're ingrained in my head now at this point because I did them. Um, but that was really gosh, I started to um, I was doing like, you know, aqua jogging and biking. I was really like really focused on coming back from the injury,
Hmm.
like feeling good. So I was still putting in a lot of work with that. But I started like my run walking, trying to get back into it around this time last year. So,
Okay.
and you know, I had a plan with that, and I was just like walking for a couple minutes, running for a couple minutes, and then just increasing until I got to like 20 minutes, and then
Hmm.
I was able to like do a run, you know, for 30 minutes straight. Um,
Hmm.
so it was just, it's a process. Injuries are tough.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, really mentally draining too, because it's just like you get it, you know, it's hard, especially when you're not getting really like many answers from doctors and you're just like, well, I'm still hurting. You
Yeah.
can't tell me there's nothing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just being when like you had races that you were signed up for and just seeing those go by. My goal for that Houston race was to Boston qualify. So that would have like, you know, been for, that was like just on my mind heavily too. And, yeah, so I think like, that has made me into like just a better runner even now though, just like going through that and then also just approaching running like a little differently and a lot with like just gratitude for being like this is hard like and you know
Hmm.
being able to go through a whole training cycle. I think a lot of times people don't put a lot of enough emphasis on like how much you should celebrate getting to a race and being just like healthy. Cause it's like,
Yeah.
it's hard work for, you know, whether it's like 16 to 20 weeks of just, of doing that. So yeah, that's a lot of, you know, next weekend. It's just like, I'm just happy to be here and like be in one piece and
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm so sorry to deal with that. I mean, it sounds like no fun at all and like so disappointing and frustrating when you've like put months and months and months of training. But I'm glad that you're sharing it because you're right. Like, I think we like to share all the like, oh, I hit my goal and like, oh, this thing was amazing. And it's really hard to share the stuff that like didn't go as you saw planned in your head. And so anyways, I'm glad that you're starting to feel better again and you know the cross training it sounds like really has been helpful. So what kind of cross training are you doing now that you've kind of like PT and rehabbed that injury, like going into this half marathon training cycle, have you still been incorporating some cross training in?
more of the the training that I'll do is like strength training.
Okay.
So I try to do that 2 to 3 times a week, on top of the running, which usually means a stacked day. Like I have one strength only day, and then I'll have to stack the other ones with a run. Um, and yeah, I don't do any like I think I'm good with a bike and all that. I feel like I really need to be back on that.
Yeah.
But I it was like super beneficial in my rehab, and doctors like and PTs will give you like whether you should be on an elliptical or bike or aqua jogging. Like I know there's injuries, there's different time periods of when you can like get on each different cross training device. But yeah, I am at what is it, 5 days a week running and one strength day in my training right now. And that feels good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I need to be taking a leaf out of your book and doing a little more strength training, probably.
It really is helpful, but I understand like it's hard to like it's just it's a lot, you know? It's like, hey, I'm training for a race. You want me to also strength train too?
Yeah, like what do you mean? I'm tired from my run.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know like a goal is to get out on the start line healthy and have fun at the race next weekend, which I think is so amazing. And honestly, like a lot of us should think about reframing that the start line is a celebration as much as the finish line. But I know you also mentioned you have big, scary goals for this. Do you want to share them, or is that something that you're like, this is an internal goal?
No, I'm happy to share. I my goal for the half marathon will be sub 90 minutes. Um,
Wow.
so that that puts me at just like under like 6:45, 6:50 pace
Mm.
mile. So yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Yay. Well, we're cheering you on. That's gritty. So that's awesome.
Hopefully the people will be out cheering on the race. So we'll get
Yeah. Yeah. And you can pick up some speed when you lap Churchill Downs and channel some
yes.
racehorse energy.
I am excited to do that. I feel like that would be cool going in there and like,
Yeah.
I relive some of the days of going out there in the infield.
Yeah. Yeah. Just think of those memories as you're going
Yes.
around. Alrighty, I am gonna shift us over into a couple running faves and some final cues. So I'm curious, what's been your favorite race day experience?
Oh gosh. Favorite has would probably be I ran the Berlin Marathon
Oh,
in
cool.
I think that was 2022. That was that. I mean, it was just amazing. Like it's such a cool experience. I've never been so jam-packed at a start line, like literally a sardine in there. But it's just like, yeah, that was one of the coolest.
Yeah, gosh, I bet. That's on my list one day, all the world majors. So
Yes.
very cool. Are you trying to work towards your 6 stars or I guess seven now? I don't know, with Sydney.
Yes, yes, I would like to do that. I have, gosh, what do I have? I have New York, Chicago, and Berlin.
Oh yeah.
So,
So halfway there already.
yeah.
Amazing. I'm running New York this fall, so we'll see
Oh,
how it goes.
is that your first New York?
First New York, yeah.
Okay. That, I mean, oh gosh, that's probably, now that you said that, that's also probably up there. I was like, best race experience. That one
Okay,
is
good.
amazing.
I'm excited. I know I'm going to be antsy waiting around to start like later in the day than normal, but
Yes. Yeah, you have to have lots of snacks.
hmm for
The day.
sure. That's my forte. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite racing distance?
Favorite is, gosh, we'll see after next weekend. I want to say the half marathon, but yeah, I think probably the half or the 10K. I think I'm
Hmm.
still just trying to figure out how to race the marathon. Like those last 6 miles still
Oh,
always get me.
brutal, brutal.
Yeah. So, I think I'll eventually like that one, but also just for life and like training, I think the shorter distances are just a little easier to make it work.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. What's your tradition to celebrate after a run? Like, do you have something that you always do after a race?
I don't, let's see. Gosh, I don't have anything that's like exactly after a race besides for like making sure I get something good to eat, going
Hmm.
out, going out to a restaurant, getting something to eat. After like a run, I love a good glass of chocolate milk.
Hmm.
Um, so that's like one of my go-tos for just like even after these long runs, just coming back and doing that. But yeah, I think like we'll probably do something horse related around this next weekend post
Yeah,
race too. So that should be fun.
super fun. And do you have a plans to watch the Derby the next weekend?
I do, yes. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Always love that.
All right, I have some running rapid fire questions. You ready?
Yes.
All right. Running watch or no watch?
Oh, running watch. Yeah.
Headphones or no headphones on a run?
Headphones.
You listening to music or podcast?
Music.
Morning or evening run?
Morning.
Solo or group run?
Solo.
Roads or trails?
Roads.
And speed work or long run?
Um, Long run.
All
I say.
right. Well, Taylor, it was so fun getting to chat with you. We'll all be cheering you on at the Derby mini marathon next weekend. So exciting. And for everyone listening, if they don't already follow you, where can they follow along on social media, see some of your training and some of your yummy recipes?
I'm over at taylor.dads on Instagram for my all things running, and then everything food and recipes is at One Balanced Life.
Thank you so much, Taylor. It's so great getting to chat today, and good luck at the race next weekend.
Thank you. It was great chatting.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Health by Haven podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to give the show a 5-star rating and leave a review. It makes such a huge difference in reaching new people and spreading the joy of healthy living. I would also be so appreciative if you subscribe to the show in the listening app of your choice so you never miss an episode. Your support truly means the world to me. Have a happy, healthy day, and I'll talk to you again soon.